Welcome back, everybody. Mark Young, computer science and IT teacher at Webster Groves High School. Lastly, what we want to talk about here in part 5, this part will be considerably shorter than our previous parts, and that is how do we actually see branches on Unity. The previous part 4, talked about how in Visual Studio can we switch between branches, make a branch in isolation on a remote branch, and then when ready, merge that into the master branch for the team. So what we want to take a look at in this video is the Unity side of things. And the really great thing about Git integration into Unity is that when we switch branches in Visual Studio, it will switch branches in Unity. And if you switch branches in Unity, it switches it in Visual Studio. So you never have to worry about working on the wrong branch at the wrong time. It keeps the two of them up to date. So I wanted to give an example of that here. I'm going to go back over to my Visual Studio, and I'm going to switch branches. Again, I believe in the Windows version of Visual Studio, the branch switching is probably over here. I think they put it at the top of wherever the File Explorer is. So what we want to do is we're going to say, I'm going to switch branches here. I'm going to switch from maybe the main character scripting branch that we created in video 4, and I'm going to switch over to the master branch. When I go over to Visual Studio, it now says I'm on the master branch. If I go back to Visual Studio and say, okay, let me go back and switch over to the main character branch, guess what? It switched you over to the main character branch. So that is going to allow you not only to code in Visual Studio in your own branch or within your team's branch, but also you can actually see how that would impact the game from Unity as well. So not only is the scripts being updated in a branch on the repository and creating a whole copy of the project and putting it onto a special isolated branch, but also everything you do in Unity on that branch is isolated from the main team's game. So if we were to, bring in an item into the game and let this script come to life and move our character across the game and test out to see if we like maybe our new jumping capabilities, we can do that here without the rest of the team having to work with my script that's semi-broken or semi in the works, or we've got bugs we're fixing. The rest of the team that's not on my branch has no idea anything about that until I begin to merge it into the master branch, or if I merge it into any of the other branches. So that is the really cool thing about setting up GitHub and Git to integrate into Unity. So if you just joined us here in part 5, you probably want to go back to part 1 where I walk you through, and part 2 how to set up the plugin for Git, and then how to connect all of this together. So that's really pretty cool. The previous video I did walk through how to merge the branches together if you do want to update that code. So over here on the right, you'll see under branches, it lets you know not only here what branch you're in, but it also puts a check mark if you're under the branches tab to let you know which one you're in. Under history in Unity, look at this. It's got all of the previous history and all the commits we've made and all the pushes we made. So if you remember in part 4, we committed and pushed a change to the main character script where we went through and added a variable. So it's going to show you all of those different commits, which is really cool. Let's see if it has any changes. I don't think it's going to show any changes. It's showing recent changes to the branch. So that is really a wrap on how to fully integrate Git commands and services, GitHub for project management, backup, and version control with Unity and Visual Studio. I want to thank you all for joining us. If you're also by chance a web developer or web designer, I have the same tutorial or similar tutorial created on my YouTube channel that will walk you how to integrate Git and GitHub into Brackets. Brackets is an IDE for JavaScript and HTML and CSS, so you may want to go check that one out as well. Okay, take care everybody. Thanks for joining us.